little girl, is an empty page that men will want to write on. Your life, little girl, is an empty page that men will want to write on.
What up, though? It's your main man, KP. Thank you again for tuning in to Sneakers and Sports. You know, if it's Sneakers Sports, we got you covered. Of course, we got Mike the expert and Don. We here to put it all on wax for y'all. We had to talk about and come on here and really discuss this trade that the Knicks made. A lot of people saying the Knicks are the favorite after this. Dom, can you give us the details of the trade so we can let the folks know how we feel about it?
All right. So, big trade, Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks. They sent Karl Anthony Towns, the Timberwolves sent Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Keita Bates-Diop, and a first-round pick from the Detroit Pistons.
This episode is brought to you by BoyRetro. BoyRetro is a new clothing line that is completely inspired by the 80s and 90s, which we all know is the pinnacle of all things retro, whether we're talking about entertainment or gaming or even sports. BoyRetro has you completely covered, whether you're looking for t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, as well as truckers. You can find BoyRetro at BoyRetro.com. Remember, BoyRetro is completely retro beyond its years. We thank them for the support. Now back to the show. Wow, that's a lot, man. So Mike the expert, I know that we had talked about this in prior that basically it seems like the Timberwolves were trying to save some money because they're on the second apron. I don't know if a lot of people know, but the apron is basically if you keep going up and going over the luxury tax, now you're in a situation where you start losing your ability to sign free agents sometimes and buy out guys. You can't do that. You're very limited on things that you can do. Plus, you're paying a lot of money as an ownership organization. What do you think about this trade? Do you agree that you think this was a money move, or you really think this is a trade that benefits both teams?
Well, of course, for the Knicks, it's going to benefit the Knicks. Getting Karl Anthony Towns is huge.
Right.
He's one of the better players in the league. You got another star on your team. So I think that's going to really help him. You got basically a center / power forward that is a knockdown three-point shooter.
Yeah.
You know, can stretch the floor. So that's going to be perfect for them. For the Timberwolves, I think I think the best part of the trade is not actually Julius Randle. I think it's DiVincenzo. I think that's going to be the best part of the trade. He helps spread the floor. He's a catch and shoot guy. So I think that's going to really help them. Karl Anthony Towns, on the other hand, leaving. You know, I don't think they were a championship team with Karl Anthony Towns. I don't think they're a championship team without him. So I think they had to make the move, save some money. They're not going to win a champ. They weren't really going to win a championship with them, and they were just spending money. They had to go in a different direction. I hate that they had to do that, but he was going to take up so much of their cap and so much of the money that they weren't going to be able to do anything. They're going to be stuck kind of the way that they are. So. Well,
I think about you giving up a guy that averaged 19 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, plus almost 3 assists. Shot 46% and is a 40% three-point shooter.
Yeah.
That's a lot to give up. Plus, can play on the floor with Rudy Gobert at the same time because he can play outside.
Yeah.
And he can put the ball on the floor. You're talking about a guy that put up 70 points last year and had a 50-piece too. So, and something that you can kind of pair with now where everybody can kind of key in on Ant. Now I don't know that you can do that. I'm not sure that you can put Randle and Gobert on the floor at the same time. They both need the ball. Yeah. Randle's not a knockdown shooter.
Right.
So, and Ant needs the ball. So, I don't know, man. I kind of hated for Minnesota because I saw an opportunity where you had a team that made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. You had a chance to go back and maybe even go to the NBA Finals. And now you're kind of back with that KG situation where you're just going to go out in the first round probably.
Well, I think maybe the Timberwolves were looking clearly more to the future. Okay, they
finances.
Finances, and they want to focus and put the right pieces in place to surround Anthony Edwards. All right, so they're really looking for the future. So I think that is not a right now thing for them. And especially, you know, if they got a first round pick from the Detroit Pistons, that'll probably turn into the future.
Well, it's a heavily protected first round pick. That are you gonna be able to even get anything with it?
No,
or
well,
it's gonna be so protected you might not get it until 4 years from now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they might not get it for 4 years from now, but now, you know, they might have some space to, you know, to do some things, to make a move. They might not be able to keep Julius Randle. I know he has a player option.
Yeah.
But I don't think Julius Randle was the big part of the, you know, the move, because they didn't even want to make the move unless DiVincenzo was part of it. So I think that's who they really wanted. They weren't going to take just Julius Randle. So,
Man, but if the price tag is DiVincenzo for Karl Anthony Towns, that's a low price tag.
well, it's that and the first round pick. I think they're looking. It's not all about this one trade. I think they're looking to do other things and not have to pay all that money, but still, you know, add more pieces around. And I don't think they could have done that with the squad that they had right now. They were kind of stuck, and I don't think they saw themselves as a championship team the way that they are.
Yeah. And I definitely do think this makes the Knicks better. Just, you know, hey, number one, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, like you said, is a knockdown shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty much the best.
Bro, he won the three-point shootout.
Right. He's the best three-point shooter big man, as, you know, he is. Yeah, possibly. And the fact that they've made those moves to, you know, with the Nets, bringing in what's his name from the Nets? I forgot.
Oh, you talking about they brought in Mikal Bridges?
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of flexibility. Where now,
They got flexibility.
kind of talk about a fit perspective. Your starting lineup is now Brunson. You bring out Mikal Bridges. You're bringing out Josh Hart.
Yeah.
You also have obviously Cat now in the lineup.
Yeah.
Probably Mitchell Robinson once he's healthy again. I think that's kind of the issue. When will Mitchell Robinson be healthy? But
And
again,
if they're even going to keep him, I think they're worried about putting him on the books or something like that.
well, I don't think you really have an opportunity to say you're not going to keep him because you lost Hartenstein in free agency.
Hey, tell me this: if it's the end of the game, you need to hit a three to win the game, right? And you got Karl Anthony Towns and you have Dirk Nowitzki. Who are you gonna trust to knock down that three?
Big Dirk.
Dirk. So that means that Karl Anthony Towns is not the best
arguably.
big three-point shooter. You said the best. You didn't say arguably.
Okay, fine.
Dirk Nowitzki is
did
a
say
better
the best.
three-point shooter.
The best right now in the NBA currently. Of course.
currently.
You digging up guys out there great. What you want to dig up? You want to dig up Larry Bird?
But you were
That's
like,
what
ever. You say he's the best.
I mean,
big three.
you going
said
back to
ever.
guys.
If
You going back to guys that ain't playing right now.
You would have said he's the best three-point big man three-point shooter in the league. Now
let's
you
be
said
honest.
ever. So Dirk, I had to bring that up.
Let's be honest though. I don't think the gap is that big. You talking about who you want to take a three at the end of the game, him or Dirk? I don't think it's that big of a gap.
It's not a huge gap.
Honestly, I think it's a toss.
I think Dirk is more clutch.
No, Dirk just has more opportunities because he played more playoff games than Cat.
I don't know, but that's a reason. Like, Cat has some issues too. Cat's not,
Let's,
you know what I'm saying?
let's talk about that because from a defensive fit, does he really fit in with them defensively? Now you have two liabilities. We know Jalen Brunson's not a defender.
And
Of course, Mikal Bridges is. You got OG Anunoby too. That's what I was thinking about. Right. So now your starting lineup is Brunson, Anunoby, Bridges, Cat, and Josh Hart. So you real thin.
Right.
Because you got a bunch of basically guards and forwards and one center.
Yeah, and you got Cat at center.
Right.
And he's not even really like playing center.
He got slow feet, man.
Yeah. And he's soft. He's just soft down there. He's like tissue paper down there.
Right.
So, yeah, they're going to have... Now they're looking...
Defensively, they're going to get taken advantage of in the pick and roll.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Here's the thing, though. I would say Boston Celtics still are better than them, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, but after Boston, can
you
they
got
be
Philly.
what you got?
let's
Philly.
Let's talk
You
about
got
that. Where
Philly,
does
so
that
it's
put
like
them?
what with Philly, but I think they're better than the Heat. They're better than the Bucks. They're better than, you know, I mean,
Really, I think at the top of the East, you're talking about them, Boston, and the third team is kind of in flux. It could
Pacers. They're better than the Pacers.
be, but the third team could be the Pacers. It could be the Bucks. It could be the Cavs. It's like probably three different teams that could be number three.
Because of the Bucks' woes last season, I think people are counting them out.
Yeah,
but if you got Dame Lillard You got,
Greek freak.
yeah, the Greek
I
freak.
get it.
I mean, you can't count them out because of what you just saw. I mean, they could easily.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. Their defense took a hit when Wichcon went to the Celtics.
Yeah.
So
Drew Holiday.
Yeah, when Drew Holiday went to Celtics,
Yeah,
but still.
I just don't think they're the same. Ever since then, they've never really been the same team. So
They just had one season.
Yeah, I
you gotta
get it.
give them. You gotta. You gotta give them a chance to get it together.
And you got the Sixers as well now with Paul George.
Yeah.
So for y'all, for Mike the expert, where did the Knicks fall now? Probably like in the top 5 of the East for you.
Oh, well, of course the top five.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but where like okay in the East where they fall for you?
I mean, shoot, I still like the Bucks. So the Knicks right now.
over the Knicks.
Right now, because and the reason why I say that, because here's the thing: you talk about defense, and you say, well, the Bucks' defense is kind of messed up. Well, the Knicks' defense is messed up too, putting Cat on their team, or whatever. So if you're gonna say that about one, say it about the other.
Right.
Jalen Brunson ain't giving you no defense. I mean, Cat ain't giving you the D. So I'm giving you the D.
Pause. Goodness gracious.
No D.
Yo, Prime, man, what you feel about what that man just said, man? He talking about giving D and all that
No
type
D.
of stuff, man. Goodness gracious, you gotta get pause for that, don't you?
Oh man! But the Knicks could be top 3. I would put them maybe like they could be like 5, really 4 or 5.
Wow, who do you have ahead of him?
So I got Boston ahead of them.
Okay, that's one.
Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah, if they stay healthy, I got Philly ahead of them. If they stay healthy,
Maybe.
Yeah, because he can't do nothing with Embiid. He got to see Embiid 3 times a year now. 4 times a year, excuse me.
Yeah, I still got Milwaukee ahead of them right now.
Yeah,
Until
and think about that too. He probably has to guard Giannis because you're not gonna put one of them little
But
guys on Giannis.
I don't see it.
You're not
man.
putting Josh Hart on Giannis. You're not putting.
I think New York, the Knicks are deeper than the Bucks though. I don't see it.
I don't know.
And the Bucks are getting older too. You know what I'm saying? Now, Giannis is still, you know what I'm saying, but Dame's getting up there too.
Giving up. See, what helped the Knicks was DiVincenzo. That helped the Knicks. That helped spread the floor. They're not gonna have that now. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got Cat on there, whatever, but he was just a different type of player. A good role player for that team.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so we're gonna see what happens. But and then I mean you can put the Knicks number 4, but I mean Cleveland is up there. Cleveland got a squad.
I don't know about that.
Bro, last year they finished ahead of the Knicks. What are you talking about?
They got a squad. I mean, you can put the Knicks ahead of Cleveland, or you can put Cleveland ahead of the Knicks. They can go 4 or 5 or whatever.
No, you talking about the Cavs
at
have
least 2 or
4. The Cavs have 4 legit starters. What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm
And on top of that, here's the thing: when the Cavs play the Knicks, now Jared Allen can guard him. So where's your advantage at? Because Jared Allen can guard him. Who's gonna guard, Mobley? You gonna put Josh Hart on Evan Mobley?
that's
That's a little crazy right there.
I don't think they're worried about the Cavs. But
And then here's the thing too: when you play Boston, if KP is out there, Porzingis is out there. I like Boston better because
No, I
now
like
they're pulling
Boston.
Cat away from the goal. He gotta go out there.
I like Boston. Boston's
Yeah.
still better. Boston's still the cream of the crop. But
So where do you put the Knicks after this trade?
2 or 3
Wow.
in the East.
I know what
In
you're
the
saying.
East.
I know what
Yeah,
you're
in the
saying.
East. Not.
So if you saying 3, who's the team ahead of them?
It could be Philly.
Okay.
Philly.
Well, here's the thing with Philly. Will Paul George even be healthier than you?
Right. I don't know.
Or is he gonna
Is Embiid going to be healthy?
Yeah,
That too.
I mean, come
That too.
on. Like,
Or, hey, in the words of Skip Bayless, he's gonna be Paul George or George Paul.
dang.
And even though I
disrespectful.
don't think they're going to be top 5, I don't think people should sleep on Orlando. Orlando has.
I agree with that.
Orlando
I agree
has
with
a
that.
squad.
They got the
coming
young.
up. Yeah, you never.
I mean,
know.
the same thing with the Pacers. They're the young.
Yeah,
hot, you
but-
know what I'm saying?
Orlando.
I think Orlando's ahead of
going
the
to sneak
Pacers.
up on people, and Orlando can actually scoot into that top 5.
Right.
Possibly.
Orlando got the
Possibly.
squad.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Paulo ain't no joke, man.
Well, we know who's not in this conversation.
Oh man, don't do that to them, bro.
The Atlanta Hawks.
Don't do that to them.
They're probably not even a playoff team, yo.
Don't do that,
You
man.
know?
Well, let me tell you who I got it. I'm agreeing with y'all. Boston's number one. That's obvious, very simple and plain. I think I'm gonna go with Mike though. It's hard for me to say this. I think that the Bucks are number 2, bro. I'm gonna be honest, man. I think they're gonna get it together. They had a lot going on. They changed coaches in the middle of the season last year, and Doc is a good regular season coach. It's the playoffs that he struggles with, but the regular season.
We'll see.
And Giannis is still Giannis, and if Dame is healthy all season, and Dame's mind gonna be right too, because now you know his personal situation will calm down.
Right.
I don't know, man. I think they're number 2, and they got championship DNA. And then in number 3, I think number 3 is a toss-up. I really do. I think that there's 3 teams that could be number 3. Obviously the Knicks, the Cavs, and I think the Sixers potentially. But I'm gonna go with Mike again. I think the Cavs are gonna be number 3. You change coaches to Kenny Atkinson.
Well, I said Philly, but you know.
Okay, well I'm gonna go with the Cavs.
I ain't put the Cavs number 3.
I'm gonna go with the Cavs at number 3 because you got the guys that guard. You got 2 bigs that can guard inside and outside.
Yeah.
And then I gotta go with the Knicks in the next spot at number 4 because I do think they're gonna be kind of deadly on offense with Cat. That's a crazy pick and pop game with Cat and Brunson.
Right.
Like you really gonna be in trouble. There's only a few teams that can guard that. And then I think the Sixers are gonna be 4 because here's the thing. The Sixers still got to figure out what's going to happen with Tyrese Maxey and PG and Embiid. All 3 of them guys need the ball. So, you know, because Embiid likes the ball on top of the key, but he want a Euro step down. He don't really want to be on the block the whole game.
You said the Sixers going to be 4?
Yeah.
So you win.
I mean 5, excuse me, 5.
Yeah, 5. Because you win Boston, Milwaukee.
5, sorry.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing too. Tyrese Maxey need the ball. And PG need the ball. PG is not gonna go in the corner and spot up. That ain't what he do.
Yeah, I think Maxey's probably gonna defer to PG.
And I think that's gonna hurt them when Maxey is the initiator of their offense and more the point guard and very aggressive.
Yeah, he's gonna defer.
They're way better.
He's gonna get
It's kind of like when they had Harden and he deferred to Harden. That was not in the best interest of the team. So that's why I kind of see them taking a step back.
True.
And then, yes, you're right. You know, Trey and them, they got a lot to figure out. Hopefully, Reshuffles can help them out. But to Mike's point, I definitely think Orlando is going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem, man.
Okay, so where do you have the Knicks at again?
I got the Knicks at 4.
At 4.
I got the Knicks at 4.
Okay.
And I got the Sixers at 5. So Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, New York, Philly.
And I have interchangeable, Knicks and Cleveland. 4
And
or
then
5.
I think at 6 gonna be your Pacers because, here's the thing: the Pacers are young; they got a lot to figure out, and a lot of things. I think now teams are gonna key in on Halliburton, so he's not gonna be able to do what he did last year.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where the other scoring is coming from. I know Pascal's a good player, but he's not a shooter, and he needs the ball too. He likes to drive a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think they're a good team, but I think those other 5 teams are just in a whole nother class.
Yeah, I think Orlando might surpass the Pacers next season. So
I agree.
I mean, we didn't even talk about the Heat. The Heat are still going to be in there.
Man,
Jimmy Butler might not even be on the team at the beginning of the season.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have much faith in the Heat.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with the Heat. The Heat are notorious for, I guess, dogging it during the regular season and then trying to turn it on in the playoffs.
Right.
And those 5 teams are going to get so far ahead of everybody else, I don't think they're going to have a shot even if the Heat make the play-in. Now, remember this, guys. They've been in the play-in the last 2 years.
That's true.
So you're going to get in the play-in to now try to turn on and think you're going to beat Boston now? That ain't going to happen. That's just not going to happen. And I think it's in their best interest to go ahead and trade Jimmy Butler.
Oh, yeah.
And just move on and reset the clock.
Yeah, maybe so.
All
right, well, we'll see. The NBA season just about to be started, so
preseason.
You know what I'm saying? We'll certainly see how things go and check us out. Put it in the comments and comment and let us know where you think the Knicks are gonna be, and certainly what you think of this conversation, and we'll certainly go back with you when we can.